Hello, everybody. Welcome to Grounded Roots Healing. I'm Jason, and I I wanted to talk about how these lessons work, what the objective is with the spiritual awakening, what it actually means, like physically, and I can define it pretty well now. I think, based on something that happened to me today. So I had an interaction at a grocery store, which is uncannily common place for me to get lessons. I don't often go out into public. I avoid it at all costs, which is, a lot of these lessons are internal, but sometimes you have to go out into the world to test them out. And this is one of the places I have to go. Everybody does, unless you're extremely wealthy. So I was out today. And what I'm trying to get at here is, okay, we cover this again. This vehicle, body and mind, the brain, are part of planet Earth. They're an avatar that you inhabit. Your soul descends into the body and puppeteers it. The oversoul has its own consciousness, its own thinking per se. It's not really thinking. It's more of a embodied knowing, let's say, that comes from the higher consciousness. The mind does a lot of thinking, and many of us are unaware that that's what's going on. We are completely unaware that we are the higher self, the consciousness. So this brain, like I said, it does a lot of thinking. And based on what's happened to us in our childhood, the way we grew up, certain things would have been omitted. And you get a particular set of wiring in this physical brain that makes you react a certain way under particular circumstance. So your brain, it reacts without thinking. You think you're thinking. You're under the impression that you are. You are not. It's a circuit in a computer program. And I've said this before, it's like A happens, apply circuit B. Or C happens, apply circuit D. And you just go through life thinking that you're thinking, and you're just reacting. You're running a computer program. It's iterative. And every time something like that happens, you apply that computer program to the problem, because it's worked in the past. Now, it doesn't matter if it's the right way to react or not. It's what's worked in the past. It's kept you safe. The operating system of this body doesn't care. As long as it will keep you safe now, it will apply that circuit. So the awakening journey for me is separating, getting the space between the higher you, the only you that exists, and the avatar that you're inhabiting. So that when something happens to trigger that circuit, you have half a second to override that program from being applied to the situation. And if you miss it, it gets applied, and then you're usually disappointed in yourself. Because nobody wants to do that stuff. We go into this awakening journey thinking that we're going to fix all of these issues quickly. Or at least I did. Couldn't be farther from the truth. I mean, it took the first 2 years just to figure out what the problem was. I've been doing a lot of healing for sure, but rewiring those circuits is a darn challenge. I ain't kidding you. It's to get that little break before you react, before the execute is function is hit on that program. So I had an incident today. Okay, so when I was a kid, I didn't get a lot of instruction. I didn't have a lot of people to look up to. I didn't have anyone to call for advice. I didn't have a place to fall back to. I didn't have security. I didn't have anyone to raise me. I mean, I watched a baseball game, a very popular baseball game that was on this evening, which my team was involved in, which turned out to be spectacular. And of course it was. We're in a simulation, so the underdog's going to win because it's time for that to happen. But the particular star of that team had a very supportive father in his life. And there was a video montage at the start of I saw it earlier today, that had his father talking about how important his father was to him, and that if he ever needed him and he was going through something, he would just pick up the phone and call his dad. Now, my dad was present, but by no means mentally present in my life. He had a lot of struggles and couldn't be that man. He was not a cruel man. He's a very good man, but couldn't be that guy who went out and played catch with his son, or you called for advice when your heart was broken, or whatever, all the stuff we go through. And I know a lot of us starseeds have had these kinds of lives where we've had to raise ourselves, parent ourselves. So I was in tears. I was. It hit me so hard out of nowhere. I didn't expect it. To realizing that I hadn't ever had that. And that what I'm trying to do right now, they say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, I didn't have one. I did not have a village. And I'm trying to be my own village as I reparent myself. That's what I'm doing here. So when these circuits that we've figured out when we were little kids, we're still applying to the 3D matrix now, or at least our mind-body complex is. When they get triggered, it causes usually some disappointment in us. But how could you be disappointed? You have to start looking at yourself as if you're still that child. That child never had the advice or the instruction to know any better. And it still hasn't to this point. That child still hasn't to this point. It's not had the instruction it needs. He, in my case. He's had to figure it all out on his own, and he has not matured. He's in many ways been frozen in time. Back to the day when he learned that particular computer program to apply to his life. So, and then a lot of the lessons we did get from the people in our lives, or the methods to deal with situations in our life, they weren't very good. It wasn't the correct way to do it. So I've always had this lack of patience for people who are rude. And the universe, well, it will pick that wound until you figure it out. So I was at the grocery store, and a particular cashier I went to, she was just rude. This is one of the grocery stores that still packs bags for you. You used to have to bring your own still, but they do, and she wasn't doing it, which is fine. Okay. So I start doing it, but she was nonchalantly throwing the food and not even within reach. I'd have to reach over, like putting the very bare minimum effort into helping me load these groceries. And then the person, she walked away as I was still loading groceries, didn't help. And then the person behind me in the line started coming through, and they were like rushing me through, trying to ring her through. And and normally what I would like to do there is just maybe a smart comment, make people laugh, but set a barrier, set up a boundary. Like, I don't need to be pushed, and I don't like being pushed through this line. I don't appreciate you invading my space, and I don't appreciate the poor service. Now, to do that in a funny way, I'm quite good at doing this when I stay calm, when I don't have that circuit triggered. When I have that circuit triggered, I say things like, the service in this place has gone downhill, and nobody helps anymore, as I stare right at this person in the eyes, making everybody uncomfortable. Which I don't really care about, but it's not the behavior I want. That's a circuit that was burnt into me many, many moons ago. And I do not want to apply that logic to this situation anymore. So what I'm trying to do is, in that half a second that I have, to not let the emotional trigger get triggered, to let the feelings come through, and then use my conscious self to deal with that situation. If there's something that needs to be dealt with, fine, I will do it. But nothing is being taken from you. You don't want to use that old logic. Reparent myself, rewrite all the circuitry, and it's hard work. It's very hard to do. I had my spiritual enlightenment 2 years ago now. And for 3 days, I could sense that break. Something would happen. I would have an emotional trigger. I would feel the emotions well up in the body and the mind, but I would not react. I would have all the same thoughts, but I would be observing the thoughts, smiling at it, and then applying a much wiser solution to the 3D physical problem. Boy, was that a wonderful way to go through the world. That's enlightenment. That's when you've reached it. And I'm not there. I still have triggers. I still have things that I can't get that little break I need before I say something rude. So, and the universe, the way it works. So if this person even exists, i.e. it's not part of the fabrication of the matrix that we're existing in to learn all these lessons. Some of these people are not people like you and I. Doesn't mean they're any less valuable. They are absolutely useful, and they are part of the system so that we can be tested. So, or if this person, in that case, they'll just do whatever the matrix needs to do in order for you to get tested to learn the lesson you need to learn. If it's someone with a soul, then that person will make a particular mistake, or will not be thinking, or they'll be thinking about something else completely in their lives, and not intentionally being rude, but so preoccupied with thoughts about something in their day that they will do stuff like this. And that's not on their fault. They're obviously asleep, and the matrix is using them for its purposes, which is to wake you up, to learn the lessons, to get you to enlightenment. So when you go through something like that, realizing that that person has no idea what they're doing to you, if they're a person at all, helps. You have to set your mind, your frame of mind, before you go out into these environments, in that you're here to learn a lesson. You're not here to just get groceries. You're here to learn something. That's the only reason you're in that environment in the first place. It's all been coordinated for to get you there to learn that particular lesson. And that happened today. And it happens all the time. I often said when I'd go out to work, I'm not here to drill oil wells, I'm here to learn lessons. I work in the oil field. It's all coordinated. It's just an energetic fabrication. None of this actually exists other than the lesson plan that you're on. It's a big game. You're in a simulation where your soul growth is you're here to progress. That's all. So when Jesus said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do," this is what he meant. They literally have no clue. They're not doing it on purpose. They are either a fabrication of the matrix itself, 3D, which is part of you. You made it. Or they're a neurospicy individual like myself who's still asleep and is being completely run by the matrix. And they're asleep to what they're doing. They don't know the consequences of their actions. And this goes right down to the horrible things that would have been done to Jesus himself. So that is the trick, isn't it? Getting that half a second, if it's even that long, break before the circuit gets triggered, before the program starts running. And boy, is that difficult. It's daunting because I've been at this for 2 years. I've known that this is what I was doing for 2 years. I've been working through this, and still to this point, it happens. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities to become discouraged and start berating yourself. You've just fallen into the trap if you start doing that. This is one of the other circuits. When you're berating yourself for something that you can't change, you're associating with the body and thinking it's some sort of failure on your part. This is not the case. It serves no purpose. All it does is trigger another circuit that you have had burned into you since you were a little kid. So we're trying not to do that too. We're trying to be the adult in the room and reparent this child. To not say, "Oh, I'm so stupid for doing that. I can't believe I did that again." This is one of the reactions I would have had. This is something from my mother. I don't want to use that circuit anymore. I've learned a lot. I'm not stupid. I understand this very well. I've come so far. I've reparented myself an amazing amount. I'm a much better human as a result of not using all of these old matrix programs that I had burnt into me. So be happy. It's an amazing thing. Like, I would have gotten so frustrated watching that baseball game because I was asleep to the fact that the outcome of that has already been predetermined. It's entertainment. And the outcome doesn't matter. It's entertainment. Are you not entertained? The more stressful it gets, the more entertaining it is. So that's a huge different approach to watching stressful things. I've changed in so many ways I can't even start to describe it. So to call that a failure and that I'm stupid, it's an idiotic thing to say. It's not the case. It's not the case at all. I have to be super proud of where I am. And I've gotten this far. I've gotten through way harder things than this. Do I really think that I won't be able to conquer this thing? No. It doesn't mean it won't be challenging, but of course we're going to get through this. We're going to figure it out. We've done so many other things. The growth has been unbelievable. So we continue to grow, and we don't berate ourselves for making mistakes. We take our time, We're patient with ourselves like we would be with a child that we're reparenting or parenting in general. And we don't hold our feet to the fire when we make so-called mistakes. We're patient parents. Yeah. So I think I'll leave it there. Like I always say, guys, I hope this video finds you well. I love you all, and we'll see you soon.